I didn't watch anything at the cinema, but I watched a classic film, Robert Altman's 1970 war comedy, MASH.
Oh yeah.
One of the biggest hits of all time when it came out. Still, it was absolutely huge. It's probably everyone knows the story just from the fucking TV show that ran forever. Two army doctors, Hawkeye and Elliot Gould, are in the Korean War.
Oh yeah.
And they get up to various hijinks. There's barely any plot. It's mainly just them doing various comedic things that relate to the war. And it's absolutely hilarious and it's brilliant. I'd watched this before, didn't really get it as a kid. Because it's not really a film that appeals to like a 14-year-old.
No.
About the horrors of war and...
Where are all the shootings?
Exactly. There are no actual bits in the Korean War. It's all just in like army tents and stuff, and like the barracks as they like work on everyone. But it's absolutely horribly violent as well.
Really?
You've not seen MASH, have you?
No, to be honest, I didn't even know what the story was.
Alright, yeah.
I've never seen the TV show. And
yep.
My great aunt and uncle are big fans. They own all the DVD box sets.
Of the TV show?
Yes.
Apparently, TV show great up until about season 8.
Yeah, that's about as far as I know.
Yep. Absolute huge cultural phenomenon though.
Yeah.
The last episode was watched.
It was like the most viewed TV episode.
I'm fairly sure it got nearly 100 million.
Yeah, it was massive.
Yes, because people had invested so much in these characters when it had ended. It was huge.
Yes.
But the TV show is much more anarchic than that.
Yeah.
People say fuck a lot.
Oh really?
Yeah, people say fuck all the time in the film. Fuckity fuck. I know, and just like I was reading that the violence was really controversial, like in the film, like, when it was out. It's not as bad now, but it's still horrible. And there's a bit where they operate on someone's neck, and it just goes. Blood constantly comes out of it.
Well, clearly they've never seen a Quentin Tarantino film.
No. But this film is absolutely great. Like I think it's receded a bit in cultural knowledge just because that TV show's replaced it.
Yeah.
Like barely anyone talks about the film anymore.
I was surprised when I knew it was a film. I was even first surprised to say, what? Robert Altman made it?
Yeah.
What?
It was Robert Altman's biggest hit. It was,
Yeah.
I think pretty much the only film he did that was huge.
In fact, no, I remember the moment when I found out it was a film when it was in a module in university called in the New Hollywood, a module about the 70s in America.
Yeah.
And the lecture was about Robert Altman.
Yeah.
And how he subverted genres. I was like, well, the filmmaker's biggest movie was MASH. I was like, say what? MASH was a film?
MASH was a film. It was a film. Well, it was a book first.
Yeah.
Adapted into a film. But what they've also go great about the film is that it's clearly like he's one of these lefties, Altman.
Oh yes.
All about community and shit like that.
Bastard.
Yes. And it's all about like the horrors of war, but it's not like a horrible like
not like Apocalypse Now kind of. The horror.
Yeah, it's not overblown or it's not like that. It's comedy. Basically, the people are so bored and traumatized they try and amuse themselves.
Yeah.
And that's basically the whole film is just hijinks they get up to in between having to like operate on people.
Okay.
But it makes a much better point through that. Like when it actually shows people, it's absolutely horrific. It's such a contrast between the two things that is probably more realistic and more emotional because of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing sound design, but you can guess that from most Robert Altman films.
Yeah.
Like Nashville sounds amazing.
It does. No, Nashville's got one of the best soundtracks ever. I love the one in The Long Goodbye.
Yeah.
It's before John.
No, I meant just the sound itself.
Oh, it's in the actual production. Oh, okay.
Like he used to. He's famous for like miking everyone up.
Oh yes, yeah. The overlaying,
overlapping sound.
Dialogue. Yeah. No, that is really good. I can't imagine like Nashville being made any other way.
No.
It'd be very difficult to make.
Yeah, if it was just everyone having little conversations and stuff. Yep. Yeah. But I would recommend everyone to see MASH. It was great that this sort of, as you say, with New Hollywood, was one of those big. It was like this, Easy Rider, and what's the other really, really big one that came out late '60s?
The Graduate.
The Graduate, yeah. Those films just sort of, they were so anarchic and freewheeling and so different from all else.
And Altman was like the poster boy of the New Hollywood. Like, he was a maverick filmmaker who didn't give a fuck about the system, but he was the icon to look up to.
Well, he in between MASH and Nashville, he made 8 films in 5 years.
Jesus.
And all of them pretty much, like McCabe and Mrs. Miller's a classic, and so is Long Goodbye.
Well, Long Goodbye is probably my all-time favourite films.
It's amazing. Robert Altman's my favourite director. He's
great.
He's made like at least 8 full-on masterpieces, of which this is one of them.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I mean, going back to this after watching all his other films it's amazing. It's a great film.
I'll definitely have to watch it.
You should definitely watch it. Elliot Gould's great in it as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think I've only ever seen him in this and The Long Goodbye.
He's in Nashville.
Oh yeah,
he makes a cameo
himself.
As himself, he makes a cameo in Nashville. Yeah.
But apparently on the set, Donald Sutherland and Elliot Gould tried to get Rob Altman fired several times.
Really?
They thought he was inept.
Oh.
Like all his miking up and stuff and letting scenes play out, they thought he was just inept filmmaker. Because this was only his 2nd film.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
Apparently something like 13 directors passed on it first, so they just gave it to him thinking that he'd do like an average job.
Yeah.
And then when he took over and did all the stuff on it, everyone was surprised it was a huge, huge hit. And then because of that, he managed to fund all these other weirder films. It's not Altman's best film.
No, no.
It's nowhere near as good as McCabe and Mrs. Miller.
But it's a crucial stepping stone for him as a filmmaker.
Yeah, without this film, he would never have been able to make the great 70s work he did. And it's just an important work of... it's just an important film.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was such a big hit and it was so... Like, this film is like the... You know them? It's basically a military version of those snobs versus slobs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like they have in the army, there's people like there's a priest who don't get along with, and like a radical Christian, and there's a character called Hot Lips Houlihan who they don't get on with, and it basically is just slobs. Like they're the common people and stuff fighting the bureaucracy of the war.
Yeah.
So and it even ends in a football game.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah. So this is like, I don't know, Animal House. All of them films are basically just this done in a different setting. So it's incredibly important just for that. It's like and like just the fact that there's barely any plot. It's just a series of vignettes. It's almost this pretty much is the like standard and touchstone for all them comedies that have come after.
Well, it's Altman and Cassavetes. They're kind of like the cornerstone of basically modern day indie cinema.
Yeah.
Freewheeling stories that don't really go anywhere.
Yeah.
Scenes that are loosely connected together rather than by a plot.
Yeah.
So out of 10, I guess it's a bit irrelevant.
It's a 10 easily.
Yeah.
Some of it has dated sort of.
Yeah.
There is a bit that comes off quite poor now, where one of the characters thinks he's gay, so he's going to kill himself. Oh. Because he and it sort of is a bit. It approaches like a gay panic joke. It doesn't quite go over the edge. Yeah. Because it's all about this. Like he doesn't want to tell his 3 mistresses and his wife. Is the joke.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not the joke, isn't it? He's gay, but some of the stuff like that isn't a very very PC nowadays.
The PC stuff is.
But I suppose anyway, you could say that's a comment on the 50s because it's a 70s film about Korea.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, an incredible film. Really, really good from a great, great filmmaker.